up, everyone, and welcome to episode number 44 of Project XTalk, an Xbox podcast. Remember, if you like Xbox or video games in general, make sure to join us live every Thursday, except this episode. Special case, we've had some technical issues, but we are normally live every Thursday around 5 p.m. over on YouTube, so please catch us there, come hang out. Lots of fun. You can interact with us and other people hanging out in the community. I'm your host, Kevin, aka the Muffin Man. And I'm joined by one of my usual members this week, Aman. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm great. You just got back to the UK.
Oh yeah, because of the whole Delta variant thing, the borders were about to close, so I had to get out of there. So
Oh wow, I didn't know they were doing it. I didn't even know about that.
yeah, crazy.
Yeah, not great. Well, we got the Delta variant going around, and it's also hot as hell in New York. We're having a heat wave, 95-degree days. It is blazing in this room right now. I got my AC on. It's not helping the entire apartment, so having a lot of fun. But for the video listeners, or you have already seen him, but for any audio listeners, we also have a special guest this week. He is the host of the Xbox Drive podcast, which recently passed 200 episodes. He's the host of We the Gamercast and the co-host of the Nintendo Drive podcast. It is Sean Capri. Sean, how are you doing? So happy to have you here.
I am just happy to leave work and hang out with you guys and maybe play a little or talk a little bit of Xbox. I promise I'm not playing Xbox while I do this. You would absolutely know that. I leave my my multitasking to driving and podcasting, and that's about it. And honestly, like, I'm kind of proud of that. Like, I don't want to, jinx anything or anything, but like, so far it's been pretty good. Most of the episodes that we've recorded on the Xbox Drive have indeed been me in my car, going to McDonald's, grabbing some drinks, grabbing some food, and doing whatever. But for the most part, I can't even chew and chew bubble gum and walk around. I can't even put that analogy together to show you the true power of my brain. But I'm stoked to be here, you guys, and I'm really excited. So thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Now, like I do with every guest that we have on, I kind of want to give you some time to plug yourself at the top of the show. What is the Xbox Drive podcast? What is the Nintendo Drive? What is all your podcasts? What are you about? Give them the elevator pitch.
There's too much there. I've just been very lucky to have a lot of wonderful support from an amazing community who just encourages me to do and try new things, man. So, I started out with We the Gamercast, which is a weekly podcast where I have sweet hangs with a stranger from the internet, and we talk about life and games, and we talk about anything from as silly as just like the inner workings of a Pokemon game to people's marriages breaking up or things like that. So it ranges the whole gamut. On We the Gamercast, which I love. That's kind of what started it all. And then one day I was on a Skype call with a friend of mine, and we decided, wait, man, I'd really like to do an Xbox show, but we don't have any time to do it. And we realized we kind of had that duh moment, why don't we do it like this? I drive to work every single day. Why don't we just record this Skype call? And from there, the Xbox Drive was born. And 200 episodes later, I think it's been 4 years or so to get to this point. It's actually, when you mention it, I was just there. We just celebrated. I'm like, oh yeah, we did 200 episodes of this thing. So it's been it started out as really just kind of like a silly thing, just like we wanted to do something extra. And then people started to listen to it, and then we started to meet some people from Xbox, and we got to go to the Coalition to check out Gears 5 before that was released, and have had just awesome. Honestly, it's been kind of a game-changing, life-changing experience. So people can listen to that episode or to that podcast on all their podcast feeds or on YouTube at youtube.com/YouMeCapri.
That is awesome. And you recently started a Nintendo podcast with I can't remember the name of your co-host, and I probably pronounce it wrong. Who do you do Nintendo with?
Yeah, the Nintendo Drive is, we started to think, well, what else can we cover here? So I used to do a lot of Nintendo podcasts with a good friend of mine, Bobby Pauls, who's the Nintendo guru. Unfortunately, passed away to COVID earlier this year. But when we decided, okay, what was going to be next for content for me, we kind of put some Patreon goals out there. And like I said, thanks to the support of the community, they kind of said they saw this idea for the Nintendo Drive, which similar kind of format to the Xbox Drive. Of course, I'm driving around talking Nintendo with Console Kato, who is just honestly, she deserves the plug. like youtube.com/consolecato. She is an absolutely amazing Animal Crossing and Nintendo content creator. She's doing some stuff with The Sims as well. Her YouTube channel is insanely popular, and I love doing Nintendo Drive with her. And yeah, I think we're maybe 15, 16 episodes into doing that thing.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things, like, I do very focused, like, platform-based podcasts, but I do them all. Like, I could talk about everything. I talk about Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo. I could talk about PC gaming. Like, I've been gaming for, I mean, probably 30 years at this point, which is actually nuts to even just say. I saw a thing that said Ren and Stimpy and another couple other, I think Doug.
Yeah, 30 years old.
Yeah,
felt old.
Oh God, where's my walker?
Yeah, felt old.
Yeah. So Nintendo Drive, fairly new, but love doing that and talking Switch and things like that. Xbox Drive. Yeah, We the Gamercast. That's enough.
So I always wonder, because you record these while you're driving. Do you bring a setup in the car with you? Like, what does that look like inside your car?
Sure. Yeah. Well, it has evolved over the years as we realize, like, oh, actually, people are listening to this. So I bring a laptop. So I have a laptop sitting next to me in the passenger seat, which I tether to the internet from my cell phone, so that it can, use Skype and call Brian Turford or Console Cato. And I have a little, like, a USB kind of headset. So I kind of look like a Backstreet Boy or a Gap worker, or actually maybe somebody at the drive-thru. So yeah, I have a little headset connected to my laptop, which is tethered to the internet, and for the most part, it works. It kind of disconnects every once in a while, which we fix in post. But yeah, it's basically just a mobile kind of studio, which, by the way, I feel like has great acoustics. Like, you go in your car and you're listening to music, that's the best place to listen to music. Mm-hmm. And when you're recording something, like, you're in cushions. It's great. There's no echo. It's wonderful. So as long as the internet kind of holds up, then yeah, recording in the car is a nice little secret, just like audio booth, like a sound booth kind of thing.
All right, Aman, I know what we're doing. We're getting in the car. We're gonna record future episodes driving. So
I take no responsibility. By the way, I don't think it's a good idea, but I think it's probably pretty dangerous. If you have any problems, a lot of us might, or if you can't think about recording in the car and while you're driving, is if you're like, oh, what's the name of that thing, or you're talking about something and maybe I want to look something up. Like, I can't look anything up.
Yeah.
I can't die. I need to finish the podcast.
No one's gonna hear this episode.
Here.
No one.
Exactly. We did have one episode where I ran out of, like, my laptop ran out of batteries. I hadn't charged it well enough, and I really tried to push it, and so that was a bit of an abrupt ending. And there's a bunch of kind of fun stuff, but I think that's the uncertainty, the spontaneity that kind of keeps it dynamic, and we have to be quick about it too. We have to be. We can't just yammer on like I'm doing right now, but it's a good time, man.
Well, we got plenty of time here. Now, you said, before we get into our show proper, I did want to ask just a few questions, because this is an Xbox show. You're an Xbox guy, more, to not have a better phrase. But all our Xbox guests, we ask, which was your first Xbox, and what is your favorite Xbox franchise?
I love this. Well, I have really good memories of my first two consoles that I ever bought. We were a PC gaming family because, maybe for a variety of reasons, but my first console period was the Dreamcast, which was amazing. We had the Dance Dance Revolution pads and everything. Good times with that. And I discovered by buying that, the reason I bring that up is because my younger brother and I split it. We both saved up our money and we're like, oh, this is something that we can do. Like, we can actually afford some of these things, because our parents weren't going to be buying it for us. But we had started to make some money with, like, paper routes, and we were refereeing soccer and stuff at the time. And so when the Xbox came out, it was very much like, I don't know if anybody was there, and if anybody was into PC gaming at the time, like, the fact that Microsoft was making a console was very, very strange.
Yeah.
But also, like, what a beast this thing was. The controller itself was huge. With the power behind this thing, it had a hard drive in it, and absolutely captured my imagination. And so my brother and I, just like with the Dreamcast, we both split the original Xbox and kind of went off from there. So that was the first console. Like, we've been there from day one. I think the game that we got with it was Project Gotham Racing. I don't remember if we got it. Maybe Dead to Rights. We might have gotten it about the same time as well. But it actually wasn't Halo. Like, we didn't. Yeah. Oddly enough, we did not get Halo with it. Even though one of the reasons that I wanted it was maybe a month or so before that, I was working at Safeway, which is a grocery store here, and one of the managers, he was like this. I look back on this now because I'm probably about this age now. It's so long ago. he was like this 40-year-old, 40-year-old guy, like kind of dork, but really nice, and just actually he reminds me a lot of me actually. His name was Alex. Shout out to Alex, and he invited a bunch of us over to like come out and hang out and play Halo, and I was like, well, this is amazing. I feel like a lot of us have that memory of being shown Halo for the first time, and everybody's got their own controllers, and you know, any of us who were, especially my age, who were playing like GoldenEye back in the day, it's like, wow, this is obviously better. So just one of those very, very memorable nights that prompted me to go to my brother to say, I think we should go halvesies on an Xbox. And for whatever reason, we didn't get into Halo until quite some time afterwards. We were very, very happy with like Project Gotham Racing, because I think on PC we were playing a lot of Need for Speed games and stuff like that, a lot of racing games before that. So yeah, original Xbox was my first one, dude.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's same. And I actually got into Halo 2 before I played the original. My friend came over.
I think I did too.
Yeah, my friend came over with Halo 2 and was like, "You gotta check this out." So then me and my brother were like, "We gotta get an Xbox." So we got an Xbox for Halo 2, and then we went backwards and played Halo 1.
Yeah, man. I love that. I love that brotherly like just connection, man. That's special.
Oh yeah, I grew up playing games with my brother. We're twins, so we played games in our entire lives and still play them now. And favorite Xbox franchise?
I don't. Anytime anybody asks me my favorite anything, I always kind of dance around a little bit. So I'm gonna do that again here. What I will tell you right now is that Gears is really special to me, for a variety of reasons. But one of the like kind of more memorable moments I have with the franchise is actually when I picked it up at the Best Buy store. Where I'm like, I feel like I was just kind of getting back into games at that point with the 360, and I picked it up off the shelf, and I'm like, I hear this might be good, and it's like I was holding in my hands one of the most influential, one of the most important like titles in the history of Xbox, and I don't know why that always just like sticks out of my mind, where I go, like I wasn't quite all the way in like I am now. I'd known enough to hear like I'm hearing good things about Gears of War, and then I play and just like holy crap, my mind blown, like the cover mechanics, the lobbing your grenades into the emergence holes, and just everything about it looked so next gen, you know. And it's hard to those moments became fewer and farther between as time has gone on, when you go, how do video games look this good, and how do like this is such a new experience. So Gears of War definitely has a nice special place in my heart, doing co-op with a good friend of mine, and learning about Horde with Gears 2. But yeah, I mean, given the day, like I could tell you a totally different answer, you know, next week, or would have given a different answer last week, kind of thing.
That's all right. Gears is a great choice and a phenomenal game. So
I've already changed my mind. Like, what about Forza? Like, why? Because here's the thing about Forza that I'll tell you too. Like, I had, again, like Project Gotham Racing, I really loved, and I had a history with Need for Speed back in the day as well. And I don't know, maybe it was like Gran Turismo when playing that at my friend's house on his PlayStation, where I kind of got scared away from the simulation style. So I saw Motorsport, I'm like, that's probably not for me. And I think it was actually, I had played 5, but I think it was when I got into 6 that in my mind, it started to play more like an RPG than anything, where I'm like leveling up my cars or earning XP, which was really credits, and kind of like modeling or tuning up my car, which they had made so much easier, more accessible. And the way that they can, especially in 6, I don't think they did it as well in 7, but in 6 they did a really nice job of being able to tweak the various levels of difficulty, whether or not you're going to play with like steering assist or ABS brakes or the driving lines or things like that. Like you could tweak a lot of those things, and it would incentivize you, because then you would get nice perks to the credits that you would then earn by completing the races, which I thought like that was just a beautiful way that they did that in 6. And that's actually was my on-ramp, pardon the pun, to Horizon. I didn't play Horizon until I was realizing that Motorsport 6 was an excellent game. And Forza Horizon 3 is one of my favorite games of all time. Like, I was getting up at 5 in the morning to play that game so I could have a couple hours in that before work, just listening to podcasts, just driving around, smashing through trees and fences and all this stuff, like getting all my spin wheels and collecting all my cars. So that brings me to say Forza Horizon 5 I am stoked about. Like, the fact that it's in Mexico, I'm seeing freaking GIFs being shared on Twitter that are like what compression level are visuals on GIFs, and this is the lowest level of visual, and still
gorgeous.
Forza Horizon 5 looks stupidly good. Nobody was asking for it to look that good. Didn't have to look that good. It looks awesome. So Gears, Forza, like I'm a pretty classical, I guess, Xbox person to say. I'll say Gears, I'll say Halo, I'll say Forza.
That's perfectly fine. I wish Tom, our buddy, our normal panel member, he loves Forza as well. So he's got his whole racing wheel set up. So he would certainly be gushing with
jealous.
you. Yeah, he's
Man.
proud of that one. But we'll move the show along and get into our first real segment. And we start every week here on Project XTalk by asking one simple question, and that question is, what you playing? So I'm gonna go around the room and ask everyone, what you playing? So Aman, what you playing?
So I've been playing quite a lot these past 4 hours. I finally gave us the Ascent a shot, and goddamn, that game is hard. I had like 15 tries on the first boss, and like that's the most amount of time I've spent on the first boss. And like I also play Souls games. I beat the first boss in Bloodborne in like my second or third try. So yeah, the Ascent is on another level of hardness. I think maybe I'm just not used to the isometric camera angle of the twin stick shooter mechanics. Like I haven't touched a twin stick shooter game in a long time. I think the last one I played was Army of the Dead 14th day on my PSP.
Oh wow.
So that was a while ago. Anyways, back on topic, I really liked the aesthetic of the Ascent. I think the whole cyberpunk genre is just my thing, and yeah, loving the character designs, gives me a lot of Blade Runner vibes. Other than that, I only put in a couple of hours into the Ascent, so I can't really rate it or have a fixed opinion on what I think about the game. I guess time will tell. But other than that, on my flight, I played some Pokemon Shield. Yeah, so I finally beat the game, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. It was like I played a Pokemon game after a long time, and it was kind of nostalgic for me, and in a way. But yeah, I really enjoyed the game. Can't wait for Shining Pearl and Brilliant Diamond. Obviously, I'm going to be going for Shining Pearl. But yeah, Pokemon Shield was a solid 8 out of 10 for me. And last but not least, you all know my relationship with FIFA. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Masochist. I mean, I can't speak. I've been playing FIFA a ton this week, so
Nice.
yeah. Me and my friends, pro clubs, but glutton for punishment over there. I want to bring it back to the Ascent because Tom and I spoke on that last week a little bit. Have you had many bugs or glitches? Because Tom was having a really bad time with it. It like deleted 2 of his characters. It just wasn't going well for him.
So far, I haven't encountered anything, but again, I've only put in about 2 hours in. I've only like cleared the first boss and a little bit after that. So as of now, I have nothing. I haven't.
Okay. All right. Maybe a patch came out. I haven't really kept up since the initial launch because that's not a Kevin game. But glad you're enjoying it. I'll look forward to hearing more about it next week, Aman. Sean, what you playing?
I also have been playing the Ascent, and I agree with everything you just said. But it is a me game. That game is. I love it's sort of like a kind of a gentle twin stick shooter. Like it's weird how it is, but it isn't kind of all at the same time. Like technically it is, but yeah, loving that. Also, Luminez Remastered. What the crap, dude! I was not asking for this game, but it came onto Game Pass recently. My co-host Brian Turford had recommended it to me, and you know, I had every intention, especially like last night. I'm like, I want to try Hellblade because it just got optimized, which I'm sure we'll be chatting about. I wanted to try that, but I'm like, this Luminez game is calling out to me, man. Very, very beautiful, snappy, kind of just arcadey, puzzly game. It's very Tetris-like, and I highly recommend people check it out, especially Game Pass. You're gonna hear me champion Game Pass pretty much this entire time that we're chatting, but dude, Luminez is really, really good. And also, I think, I'm not sure when this is actually going to drop, but last week I had a chance to be in the closed beta for Back 4 Blood, and right now the open beta is happening as well. And again, shout out to Game Pass. This game is coming to Game Pass. I'm kind of at the mindset where I'm like, I like what I saw. I really enjoyed playing the game. Do I need to play more in beta time, or do I just hold off and wait until the game actually comes out, day and date into Game Pass? And in the meantime, maybe I'll try out that Hellblade, or maybe get back to Luminez for some stupid reason. It's just like a bit of a mind cleanse too. As I recently finished on Nintendo Switch, I played through Skyward Sword HD. So maybe that's why. That actually might be a key factor in me playing Luminez. I might need a bit of a wipe, a bit of a palate cleanse.
Absolutely. You mentioned the Back 4 Blood beta. Did you say you got in last week?
Yeah. I was able to play
Me too.
For a couple hours.
Yeah. So our co-host Tom here, he got in and hooked me and my friends up with some codes. So I I did that quite a bit, put quite a few hours into that. What are your impressions on it, just based on the beta? Obviously, the game will change between now and October, but how are you feeling? Are you more excited? Are you worried?
I am exactly where I expected I needed to be, which is excited. I love the Left 4 Dead games back in the 360 days, but because I put so many hours into those games, it's ridiculous. And I think it's a weird sort of like muscle memory of expectation where I'm like, I was waiting for the game to slow down because there's so many things happening, and just, I played that style of game before. It's very, very similar to the Left 4 Dead games, and of course the spiritual successor, many of the developers on this one as well. So I was expecting it to like drop down to 17 frames per second, and for me it didn't really do that. Like, it for a beta, it performed really quite well. So on a performance standard, I think I'm very confident in it. A couple interesting kind of additions to it though, like definitely not as straightforward or simplified, I think, as Left 4 Dead, and that's nothing to take away from either game. It's just there's this additional layer with the card deck building, and you can choose different perks and things like that may, like, I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you, because I've only played for a couple hours. What I wanted to get out of the beta, honestly, was just like, I wanted Left 4 Dead at 60 frames per second, but what I got was like, choose your card, and I'm like, okay, like I could see when maybe I get into the game when it comes out, I'm like, that might actually keep me around for even longer than Left 4 Dead ended up doing, which, to be frank, was actually quite a long time. But yeah, it's more than just revisit the same areas or choose one of whatever 4 or 5 campaigns that you might have. It seems like there's going to be an extra layer, which probably is where they should have gone, after whatever it's been 15 years since Left 4 Dead. So a nice like evolution of that model. So I'm excited for it, man. I'm glad to see it.
Yeah. So like I said, I was also in it with my friends, and we played through. I think there were 8 missions in the campaign available or something like that. We played through 4 of them on different difficulties, because normal is pretty easy. Things tend to die one hit. So we wanted that extra difficulty. Raising the difficulty definitely makes it harder and makes it more enjoyable, I think. If you want more of a challenge, I would recommend putting it higher. Now, if they make any adjustments before the game comes out.
If you're working together.
Yes.
If you're collaborating, if you have friends who all know what they're doing.
If it's randoms, definitely not, because we played one game with a random. They were shooting all the birds, alerting the hordes constantly. It was a little frustrating that they were not really cooperating.
Those birds are the worst, man.
I don't know. I don't know why they put the birds of all things, but I echo what you say. Me and my group of friends were big fans of Left 4 Dead 1. We didn't really care for Left 4 Dead 2 that much. But Left 4 Dead 1, and when I hopped in, I was like, I want this to be Left 4 Dead. And to me, it feels like Left 4 Dead. This is what kind of how I would imagine Left 4 Dead in a modern feeling. I don't think it feels, like a first-person shooter. It feels like Left 4 Dead. Yeah. It's not. You're not gonna pick it up and be like, oh, this is Call of Duty. No, it feels like you're gonna go shoot some zombies. I liked
you can aim down sights now though, which is kind of nice. Like that was,
and that
the left trigger.
that snap is aimbot. If you have the ADS on, you basically get headshots every time. It's ludicrous, in a good way or a bad way, depending on how you want to play it. I kept it on and was just popping all the zombies, but I thought it felt great. I liked the guns. I liked that they have the attachments, the rarity. I thought that was a really good addition. The card system, much like you, I'm not entirely sold on yet. I think it has potential. I think there is a room for it to get a little bit convoluted at points where you're not sure like what the cards do sometimes because the descriptions are a little vague, or the cards aren't really worth even, like you only get to choose a certain number. Like you put them on a deck and then you get picked from this 5. And if those 5 aren't any that you actually want, well, it's like, well, what's the point? These don't help me at all.
Totally. Pick any of them.
Exactly. So that's kind of how we were feeling. We did hop into PvP, which is radically different. I don't know if you played any of the PvP.
I never got a chance to play that. No.
Yeah. So the PvP is you take a turn playing as the Ridden or the zombies, and you get to choose the classes. So they have the 4 Ridden classes over there. You can spend points that you get to like upgrade the Ridden, upgrade a regular zombie horde that is going in. And then if you're on the other team, you play as 4 of the human survivors, the cleaners or whatever they call them, and you can basically prepare. Like you get your weapons, you get your med kits, but over there is where you really use your card system. That's where your PvP card deck comes in to play. So you pick things like increased ammo, faster reload, better healing, stuff. Whatever you have in your PvP deck is where your cards come in over there. So you do a round and you see how quickly you can kill the cleaners. And then you switch sides and see if you can survive longer than it took you to kill them. So if you survive longer, you win that round. And you have to do that 3 times, it switches the map. So it's a long process. If you're hopping into this PvP, which I hope there's different modes, you're probably in for a good half an hour for one match. If everyone's playing, not quitting and bad players, but I could see you being in there a while, and I don't know how I felt about that. But
yeah, that's interesting. I like the PvE, but I like it didn't even cross my mind to try it. But sorry.
Yeah. What were we saying, Amon?
So I was just asking, what would you guys say the ratio of tactical and going all out is between compared to Left 4 Dead, or is it exactly like Left 4 Dead?
I think it's pretty close. Like there's definitely areas where you can really mess things up. Like something as blatant as the birds. But definitely, where it really comes to me, it's that last area. Like just as you're about to make your escape, that's where difficulty definitely ramps up. That's where you really need to be working on the same page, whether it's placing the bombs on the ferry or whatever. Like you need to be coordinated, and that is so Left 4 Dead. That's exactly what I remember from that game as well. But for the other areas, it's again carry over from Left 4 Dead. If you're by yourself, if you run ahead or if you lag behind, you're screwed, man. Like you will get picked off so easily. So yeah, it's a lot of what I remember for Left 4 Dead on all of those fronts.
I would second that. The ferry is one that we did, and the difficulty jump, even on normal mode from the other levels to that, was astronomical. And I actually didn't survive the ferry because I went back to rescue one of our other guys who went down, and I was like, I got time, I got 20 seconds. I did not have time. I did not make it. So, yeah, I would say you do need to be tactical, especially for those final missions. But
there's a great minigun somewhere. I think I push one of my dead friends off of it and took over the minigun. It's just like, it's so satisfying. Like the gunplay really is good. It isn't Call of Duty, but it is like, it gives you just enough to, you can throw around your propane tanks or your gas tanks and whatever and light them all on fire. That's all very satisfying. It all feels very Left 4 Dead as well. So yeah, lots of tools and stuff at your disposal. One of the things that I remember about Left 4 Dead in the, like before it actually came out and the devs were talking about it, that I don't know if it's here, I'm sure it is, but the game seemed to adjust based on either how you were playing or how you were performing. So if you're doing really, really well, then it would sort of like pull back on ammo. But if you were kind of like struggling a little bit, it would help you a little bit more. So I don't know if that's the case in this one, but that always stayed in my mind a little bit of how new and innovative that seemed, especially back in the 360 days. So yeah, but it's a good game, man.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't say I'm blown away. I'm just as excited for it as I was before. The fact it's coming to Game Pass, I'm still looking forward to it. I don't know how much longevity it has. Like I'll play through the campaign, maybe do some PvP, but in terms of keeping me engaged, I don't really know, especially with Halo coming this fall. I'm gonna be devoting my PvP time over there. I'm not gonna be going to Back 4 Blood, but it is what it is. And I got one more game I want to rave about before we get into the news, and that is
Before you do that, do you think they're gonna add a battle pass to Back 4 Blood?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it fits. From what I played, I don't think it would fit in the world.
Yeah, it would probably feel pretty gross that, like, because there is a card system. It seems like, well, I mean, cosmetically, like, you probably could throw something in there. That's it. Like, I mean, I know you're going on to the next game, but it lacked that like irreverence that I think the Left 4 Dead ones, they seem to lampoon the Left 4 Dead, or just the horror or zombie kind of flicks a little bit more. The characters I felt like were a little bit more memorable, but again, I only played for a few hours. But I love the old guy, or like Bill or whoever, like all these guys. I love that stuff, and these people were fun. I played his mom for the most part when I was going through mine, so more to see on that front. But I definitely like the humor, the weird humor that was in Left 4 Dead games.
Yeah, absolutely. And last game I've been playing this week, a little indie game, just came to Game Pass, I think last week. Dodgeball Academia.
Oh, I gotta play this,
Oh.
man. So many, dude. Game Pass is crazy this last like 30 days or something like that.
This game, okay, I heard, I was listening to another podcast and they were talking about like maybe checking this out. I think I checked out Mr. Matty Plays video where he was like top 5 RPGs for this month, and I think it was in there. But I thought so, but so like, I was like, all right, I'll download it. It's on Game Pass. What do I got to lose? And I love this game. I am almost done with it. It's only about maybe 10 hours long if you do like the side quest. Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. It's basically like a shonen anime. So I compare it to like Yu-Gi-Oh! GX, where he goes to this school and he's like, I'm gonna be the best dodgeball player, and then he has like a rival kid who's like, no, you're not. I'm gonna be the best dodgeball player.
Yeah.
He forms a squad of,
like Haikyuu.
Yeah. So he forms a squad of his dodgeball homies. You build your team, and the battle system is so unique. Like you get. I swear to God, they ripped off Pokemon for so many of these things. So they have random trainers placed around the map. When you walk in front of them, it plays almost an identical little jingle to like the Pokemon thing. And then you go to a dodgeball court where the 3 characters in your party have to play a dodgeball game against the other people, however many they have. They can have 1 to 6 people. It's never a fair fight. You can catch balls, you have different kind of throws, you have different power moves, ultimate moves, and you level up, you get experience, you can buy equipment to deck out your people. This game is awesome. There's an infirmary, which is basically the Poke Center. It goes to a black screen, plays a little jingle.
Amazing.
Yeah. This game is so heavily inspired by so many other RPG and JRPG games, and it shows in the best way. The story, I wouldn't say is like, it's nothing phenomenal, but it's like cute and funny at certain points. But the gameplay loop is fun. The quests are fun. Like just everything you do in the game is just fun. Like I keep coming back to it. And I'm like, I love this game. I might be able to 100% it. I think I might have missed one achievement, but either way, 90% is close enough for an indie title like this, which I was not expecting to love. So I gotta finish this before 12 Minutes comes out next week. That's my goal.
Oh my God, man, it's just unstoppable.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, next Thursday or something. I don't know.
Holy crap.
Game Pass just keeps rolling, and every time I think I have a little break, I find something else that I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna get invested in this now. So, Dodgeball Academia. I'll probably do a review for it for our YouTube channel, but it has my glowing recommendation so far. Spoiler alerts.
This one to the list.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, now that we've gone through what we're playing, let's deep dive into the library of news that we have here. And rumor number 1 is what we're starting with. I'm pulling from wiredupreport.com, who has the summary, but this rumor comes from YouTuber Scalzi TV, a name that's popped up in rumors regarding Bethesda before. Scalzi states that they heard a rumor about Bethesda opening a new studio that focuses on remasters or remakes. He's not sure if this is legit or not, but he heard the rumor a couple of times now. He added in a future tweet that the rumor did not come from his usual sources, but did come from fairly trustworthy sources. While nothing has officially been announced at the time of this recording, it begs the question that I'll pose to you two here. Would this be a good idea? And what games would you like to see Bethesda remaster, remake?
Oblivion.
All right, Aman. So
I think that would be perfect. Just like a year or 2 before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, an Oblivion remake. Not like a remastered version like how we had Mass Effect Legendary Edition, like a full-fledged remake like how we had with Resident Evil 2. That's what I'd like to see. Also, Fallout New Vegas.
I took my answer. That's the correct response. That is.
I'll let you say why.
Well, to be honest with you, like that's the one I want because I haven't gotten to it yet. I loved Fallout 3 quite a lot actually, and I never did. Like I think I played maybe the first couple hours, but nothing to really say like that I truly experienced it. And I just hear all these wonderful things about it, and I feel like that's, I don't know, it's almost one of those things that you kind of go, it would make sense if that were to happen. And of course they haven't announced anything, but in my brain, like that will happen. Like if I just maybe speak it enough that it will actually come into existence, that's the one that I want. And because I think, again, not having played that one, but having played the third one, I just feel like that's the one that people seem to just talk about quite a bit more. I don't hear anybody talking about Fallout 3, even though it's same engine, same like very kind of same era, I guess, as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was pre kind of Fallout 4, where you got into base building and quite a lot of the other things that they introduced with that one. So that was the first game that came to mind for me. Is it a good idea? Heck yes, dude. There's a huge library and a huge history, and to your point, Amon, too, like there can be a range of, is this just being modernized in terms of its resolution and frame rate, or like what do you do with those original even those original Fallout games 1 and 2, like if on the PC side would be really interesting to see what they could do on that front to modernize them, or even make them perhaps even ready for console. I think would be kind of neat to see. But there's too much history for this not to be a thing, and for it also it's smart to just kind of offshoot it, so that you don't have some of these core studios, you don't have like Machine Games or id or anything, like going back and remaking some of their things. It can continue doing what they're doing, which is go back in their catalog and do like, I want like a Quake from them next, like do to Quake what they did with Doom recently, or what Machine Games has done with Wolfenstein. Put all the pull the old games and give that to another studio to do the remakes and remaster, almost like a Blue Point Games kind of thing. I think would be really smart for this, and the gigantic catalog that Bethesda has.
You took the words almost out of my mouth. I think that because it's the worst kept secret in the industry right now that Blue Point has been acquired by Sony, even though we're waiting for official confirmation. Right. I think that Microsoft or Bethesda launching a remaster remake studio makes a lot of sense, because we've seen Blue Point have success over on the other side. Demon's Souls, their upcoming Metal Gear Solid game, which is also a bad industry secret that they're supposedly remaking that. But if we can get a studio of developers who are only, they don't really care about making original IP. They're only there to take what's been done, remaster it, remake it, and they're completely fine with that. I think we can have a lot of success on the Xbox front. Now, where I wanna kind of pivot is the fact where everyone's like, oh well, it's gonna be Bethesda's. They're gonna make Bethesda games. Why do we have to limit? Yeah, why would we limit it, since Bethesda is now part of Xbox? Why don't we open up this big Xbox library of IPs that we have and just let them go run wild? Sure, they can remaster Fallout New Vegas. I think that one that makes a lot of sense. I think that's one fans would really clamor for and want and receive very well. But there's so many IPs. Cough Banjo-Kazooie, my pride and joy.
That's what I was thinking. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so many Viva Pinata. If we're sticking with Rare, there is a lot of IPs that have been forgotten. Yeah, well, I don't know about Cameo, but there are IPs that have been lost to time now that Rare doesn't seem interested in doing. I'm not asking for a 1-to-1 remake, maybe a reimagining Banjo-Kazooie, something along those lines, like Resident Evil 2, because that wasn't a 1-for-1 remake. It took what Resident Evil 2 was and made it better, made it modern. So I think we can do that with a lot of old Xbox IP, and that's really where I would hope that they would go, and not limit it to just Bethesda.
That would be great. I hope that happens.
Yeah, well, it's still a rumor at this point, so we still have ways to go.
Stealthy?
Gamescom, bring it on, man.
Gamescom.
Wait, there's also Quakecon, August 19th, I think.
Yes, and I think I didn't add it to our news, but before we went live, I saw something about a remastered Quake was leaked or something for Quakecon.
Oh no, I leaked this a few weeks ago. I told you a Quake game with the female protagonist is coming soon.
I do remember you saying that. I don't know about that, but I remember if that turns out to be true, maybe I'll start taking your your nonsense a little more seriously. But we can move on to story number 1, since the first was a rumor, and I'm pulling from Rory Young over at Game Rant. Cyberpunk 2077 senior gameplay designer joins the Fable development team. Powell Coppola is now confirmed to have been hired by Playground Games for the role of principal gameplay designer. His LinkedIn account says he is, quote, designing and implementing combat into Fable. Coppola also worked on The Witcher 3's enemies, encounters, and AI, and for Cyberpunk was responsible for melee and firearms. So, we've heard about Cyberpunk endlessly, it feels like, since it came out. But now we have one of their senior gameplay designers over working on Fable, a game I'm super excited to see come back. One, should we be concerned because of the Cyberpunk reception, or, do we think this impacts Fable at all? Sean, I'm going to throw it to you first.
Well, I think I kind of giggle a little bit just because it sort of like implies that there's some sort of like weird infection that happens when somebody comes over and brings all the nastiness with them. I do think that maybe I showed my true colors. I think that notion is a little bit laughable. I don't think that there's anything to be worried about. If anything, you just think about the true talent. It's amazing how quickly the reputation is shifted for this developer with the CD Projekt. Like, because prior to this time last year, the game was supposed to be Game of the Year. They were like the #1 studio. Why wouldn't Xbox want to buy them? Like all of these things. And so, yeah, probably this is all those mostly like positive things are probably still true about that thing. And ultimately, like I think it's just a matter of the game got released probably a year early. And it's so interesting. This maybe is a little off topic, but you almost will have a like test case scenario where you go, Cyberpunk is what happens when you release it a year early, and Halo Infinite potentially will show what happens when you just wait a year and let that bake a little bit longer and all those things. So I don't think anybody's pointing to a thing like Cyberpunk and go like they clearly aren't talented or they clearly don't know what they're doing. It was probably just a time thing, and maybe shifting priorities, or maybe it was in various states over the course of the time that it was in development for whatever 10 years or something like that. I think that has more to do with what happened with Cyberpunk than anybody who's really involved with it. There's promises that were made to the public. There were obligations maybe to, I don't know, maybe shareholders, or it's a privately owned company. So I think there's just other factors other than having to be worried about this person coming in and buggering up Fable. But yeah, I think we should be happy with this. It's just, man, it brings a lot of baggage with it, doesn't it?
Before I give my opinion, I'm gonna let you, because you love Cyberpunk.
Just to restate Sean's point, like a lot of the problems that came with Cyberpunk were mainly from the upper management and not really from the game developers. It wasn't really their fault what happened to the game, so I don't think it should be a problem.
I'm with you guys. Any notion other than this isn't a big deal, like it's not going to change anything. Like he was not the reason Cyberpunk was not received well. He was not the reason CDPR, their image has kind of taken a shift. This is just a developer switching jobs. I think reading into it any more than that would be a little disingenuous. I think we can understand that he wants to do a great job, and honestly, I don't remember anyone complaining about the firearms and the gunplay in Cyberpunk. So I don't think what he did was anything close to the problem. So for me, it's a non-story. I just wanted to bring it up, see if anyone had any differing thoughts, but we're all in agreement. So I'll move.
I think really what it highlights, though, guys, is that the expectations that people have around the game before it comes out, right? So like I said, there's so many factors here, but it really all matters to how was this game revealed. Like we know it exists. We had the frog or toad eating the fairy or whatever. Like that's basically what we know about this game. So from here, it's just about like what does Playground do to like let us know what can we expect? Are they hyping it up and is that getting out of hand, or will they do a good job managing expectations? That's a way bigger and probably more interesting conversation to have, rather than like, is this guy going to infect what's happening over a Playground? I feel like, given the chance, I think Xbox and its various studios would eat up every one of those people who are every one of those talented individuals over at CD Projekt, for sure.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, and I think that might be a discussion probably for a later time, once we've seen more of Fable, once the marketing has really ramped up and
Gamescom.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. It's not gonna happen.
Well, I would love that, but I'm in agreement there. I think we need to see more of Fable before we can really start worrying or getting overly excited for anything.
Yeah.
So we'll move right along. We previewed this a little earlier, but story number 2, we received a surprise upgrade for one of Xbox's best games from the last generation, in my personal opinion. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice has received an Xbox Series X and S optimization patch. The optimization patch provides enriched visuals, DirectX ray tracing, a resolution mode, update materials, which are the textures, particles, details, higher draw distance, a chapter select feature, 120 Hz mode, and a PC update is also in development. Now, we do have a little breakdown here of all the modes and what they offer. So if you're on the Xbox Series X and you want to play in performance mode, there's no ray tracing. You have dynamic resolution up to 1080p and 120 Hz. If you want to play in resolution mode, no ray tracing, dynamic 4K resolution, and 60 FPS. And then the new enriched mode, which I think I actually said resolution earlier, it's enriched. That is where you get the ray tracing, the dynamic 4K resolution, and 30 FPS. That's for the Series X. Series S will differ a little bit, but there's a full breakdown on Ninja Theory's Twitter if you want to go for that. So I actually did hop into this, Sean. I know you were saying you wanted to. I hopped in primarily because I'm gonna do a review of it. So for the channel, that's coming up now that we have the next gen version. But I've played it before, and I was missing one achievement, and it was those lore stones. I wanted to hop in, just go to the chapter, since they've now added chapter select. Turns out, chapter select is only available after you beat the game again. So chapter select is absolutely worthless to me. You have to start the chapter and then you can select that chapter. So I jumped in, started playing, and then I was like, where's chapter select? Did chapter 1, went back to the main menu, saw chapter select. It only lets you do chapter 1 because that's all I played. I really hope Ninja Theory fixes this. This is an issue for me. This kind of kills my desire to go get the achievement because I don't want to replay the whole game right now. You know, we have other things coming out. I just wanted to hop in, play a few chapters, really like get that feel for the game again, and finish my achievements. I will say that because I have an LG OLED, I do have the 120 Hertz. Performance mode looks very good. The 120 FPS is almost stable. I know Digital Foundry did a video on it today, but with VRR you basically can't tell. It does look really good, but I think for the best experience, enriched mode is perfectly fine. That's with the ray tracing, dynamic 4K, and 30 FPS. You know, this is a puzzle story-based game. I really don't think you need anything more than 30 FPS for this, and the ray tracing and up-res really just does it justice. The game looks absolutely gorgeous in enriched mode. That would be my preferred way to play this game.
I said earlier that I was not going to be playing Xbox and podcasting here, but I just wanted to fire up my my cloud streaming app on my phone, and it does fire up here, and it does have touch controls. Something I never thought that I would actually be excited about, but it's very few and far between where I actually want to grab a controller and play these games. But I'm curious because xCloud, or whatever we're calling it these days, is it's on the Series X blades now, so I don't want to see what this would look like over here. But anyway, just wanted to let you know I'm firing it up, and it's man, it's here for podcasting. It's here for toilet time, like whatever you want. That's xCloud. Put that on the box.
Yeah.
Put it on the post.
Once you get into a game, let me know how it looks over there on your phone.
Sure, I'm adapting the gamma right now, the visuals. But there, it fired it up, man. Starting a new game, and the load times are it's fired up. This is crazy.
Have you played it before?
I played on PC I think I'm maybe like 40% of the way through the game, but I'm gonna start over now that it's optimized. I'm gonna fire it back up right from the beginning because I don't remember. Like, I know there's puzzles. I remember there's certain mechanics about it, but I want to jump in with a good set of headphones. I've got
absolutely. Headphones are a must for this game. The audio is next level. Aman, you've played Hellblade, right?
Yeah, I played the whole game on cloud.
Oh, you have played it on cloud. Okay, how was your?
There you go.
But you didn't have you had the last gen version. So how was it?
Oh yeah,
how was
last
it?
Gen. It was good, I guess, because the game was already visually impressive before the upgrade. So I think it was pretty good. I think there were a few frame drops, but yeah, visually it was amazing. But yeah, they can always improve on the frames and hertz aspect. So.
Any desire to hop back in now that it's optimized? No.
Well, it was a good game. It just like there's a lot coming up now. There's Hades. There's 12 minutes.
Oh yeah, Hades too. Man,
Oh yeah.
I feel like
Oh my God.
every,
12 minutes Hades.
every
24
time
hours from now.
every time someone talks, a new game is on Game Pass. So how's it looking over there?
It looks smooth, dude. Like it looks really good. She's kind of like she's going through. She's on her little like log canoe thing, and it looks really good.
Do you get options? Since I've never used xCloud, so I was like, do they have the enriched performance resolution?
Man, we got a live look at this right now. Graphics menu. Cool. It seems to be locked to performance.
Okay.
So it does let you go into that menu, but yeah, it looks like that's locked. It looks like the only thing that can change is like gamma. There's audio controls, and I accidentally hit B instead of A because I'm a dum-dum with these controls. Yeah, you can control volume and stuff. Like, I don't know. Very cool, man.
Yeah, that's awesome. So performance, I mean, we mean no ray tracing through streaming, which obviously. 1080p resolution, which is the max that I believe you can do over xCloud, and 120 frames. If it's I don't know if it does 120 on phones, but maybe. If not,
is that what the performance mean? That
yeah,
you just laid that
performance.
I mean, that'd be interesting. Yeah. That's the one thing that that's where I maybe show my true colors a little bit, because I do think that when I see like 17 frames per second, I'm like, that's not very good. Or if I see like 30 versus 60, I definitely can tell.
Yeah.
But like this could be 120, it could be 60. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm a fraud.
Most people once you get above 60, you struggle to see a difference.
Unless it's jumping around.
Yeah.
It's going from 90 to 60. Like I think I definitely will. I think anybody would. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. No, well, that's awesome. That was any audio listeners, if you want to go see how well that worked and how smooth that was, little plug for xCloud. Check out the video. But yeah.
What's up, gyro controls? That's how I'm supposed to look around on this thing.
Oh.
What the heck? I just missed this like controller button. Is it base controls or gyro? What the? Okay. Stay tuned. We'll keep going.
Yeah, let us know if you figure anything else out. But
I can't do this when I'm driving the car, man. This is new.
I hope not. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I'm like I said, a little disappointed in just the chapter select. Everything else is fantastic about this upgrade. So if you haven't played Hellblade, please hop back in for the first time. It's only about 6 to 8 hours long. It's a very short game. It is mostly puzzles, a few combat sequences, which I think feel good. Some people don't like the combat, but I think it feels good. But please go play it. It's a fantastic story, and the sequel is going to be, I think, super expanded with the backing of Microsoft, because this was an indie game. Like this, like they
PlayStation exclusive.
Yeah, and we took it from we took the whole studio. But yeah, I'm super excited. But that is awesome. We'll move on to Hellblade. Shout out if anything cool happens over there, Sean. But story number 3.
What are you talking about?
Story number 3, pulling from Xbox Wire, Xbox has announced they're bringing Xbox Cloud Gaming Beta to the Xbox app on Windows 10 PCs for Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members who are part of the Insider program. Remote play has also been enabled, which allows you to stream your Xbox Series X and S console to your PC. We knew this was coming. It was announced a while ago. It's now available for insiders. While you can currently utilize xCloud through the web browser for everyone, this is part of their promised integration to the Windows app and their continued promise to bring more games to more people to allow them to play on lower end machines. So like my PC, not a great PC. It's I think I have like a 760 graphics card in here. Like it is very low end. I play like Among Us and I'm like, I'm getting 60 frames. Like I could play a few games, but with this, if I want to stream from my Series X, I don't know why I would, because it's right there, but if I wanted to, I could stream it over to my PC and have the great, I could play Hellblade. I could play Hellblade on my PC, which I definitely could not do now. So this option is available. I won't use it. Sean, looks like you're in the cloud ecosystem.
I'm trying to fire it up right now. But yeah, this is for insiders, so I actually don't think I can just fire up this app
Oh, yeah.
as we speak. So I might have to get a little bit more involved, which would make me much less paying attention over here. So I'm not going to do that right now. I will admit, put my phone down to try and fire up the app, but yeah, it's still the usual that I've got. So I will have to try another time.
Do you have a good PC?
I do, yeah. But one of the things that I was going to call out if I was able to fire up, I just tried Gears 5 here, is the fact that, like, yeah, a lot of people are going to have really good PCs, but one of the things that I find quite often, especially when kind of playing games with the community and stuff, is like, yeah, let's play Halo, and then somebody go, there's a little 11 gigabyte patch, or there's something else there. Like, I feel like that's one of the understated benefits about cloud gaming, is that you just fire it up, man. Like, there's no updates you got to worry about. There's nothing like that. And so, yeah, it'll be the grand equalizer in terms of performance, but also you don't have to worry about storage. You don't have to worry about those big, long updates that you didn't update, or if it's the first time that you're downloading the game. You know, Halo, I think Master Chief Collection is like 110 gigabytes or something stupid like that. So you're probably spending a week doing that. So, yeah, I think that's a big deal. And I think once people start to realize and experience that convenience factor, it's one of those, we don't even know we want it yet. But once you try it maybe once or twice and realize how quickly you can get into games that you're kind of more used to spending a lot more time waiting for, it's going to be a big deal. Just like anybody experiencing on Series S or X, the speedy load times. It's like, man, try going back to a 1X now. You're spending a couple minutes. I think it was like three minutes or something waiting to load up Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, no, thank you. You know.
That's actually a point that I didn't think about, and it's hilarious you bring up Master Chief Collection, because last week I texted some of my buddies. I was like, guys, you want to hop into some Halo Master Chief? I'm having a good time. I got Halo fever after the technical test, which I wasn't part of, but really got me in the mood for Halo. And every single one of them was like, sorry, I don't got it downloaded.
Right.
But my friend,
barriers.
He's got a killer PC. He could have, if he was in the Insider, he could stream it over to his PC. We could do some crossplay. Mm-hmm. Instead, he was like, I'm gonna put it in, see if it downloads. After like 2 hours, it still wasn't there. So I'm like, all right, well, you gotta go to sleep now. I'm an adult, get a job, you know. So it's a little bit of a good situation, actually. Like I didn't think about that. That's a phenomenal point, that it'll allow people to circumvent those downloads. You don't have a PC, I don't believe. You use cloud for your tablet.
I don't have a PC, just a laptop. Yeah. But yeah,
there you go. Even more important if you only have a laptop.
Exactly. I usually use cloud on the go. So when I'm on campus at university or something. So yeah, makes sense.
All right. Well, exciting. We will get into our last story for the day. And a little predictions. So, story number 4, Xbox has announced a Gamescom 2021 Xbox stream. On August 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, you can watch the official Gamescom 2021 Xbox stream hosted by Paris Lilly and Kate Yeager. The stream will provide an in-depth update from previously announced Xbox Game Studios alongside some third-party partners. Aaron Greenberg took to Twitter to set expectations, saying there will be, quote, no new reveals or major surprises. Gamescom Opening Night Live, hosted by Jeff Keighley, will be the following day, August 25th, starting at 2 p.m. Eastern, and that will have some game announcements. Whether they're Xbox related, we will wait and see. But guys, since we now know there is an official stream coming, Paris is coming back after he did that great extended showcase. I thought he did a really good job in the last one. So for our fun topic this week, I thought I would get everyone some tinfoil hats, and we can make our Gamescom predictions. What do you think is going to happen at this Xbox stream? Keep in mind, it's only updates on previously announced games, but what do you think we're going to see? What do you think is going to be announced about these games? Aman, do you want to go first?
All right. I'm going to go big. I think we're going to see a little bit more of Avowed.
Wow. Okay.
A little bit more. Yeah, because last time we just got like a 20-second glimpse. Maybe probably just another CGI trailer or in-engine footage. But yeah, I think we're going to see a little bit more Avowed.
That would be awesome.
Probably some more Halo Infinite. Actually, I think we're going to say Halo Infinite campaign gameplay.
Okay. Halo, I think, is going to be a common prediction among the community. Avowed, though, that's something I would love to see. That's one of my most anticipated games. Obsidian, big in RPGs, made Fallout New Vegas. Just saying, everyone we were talking about earlier.
One more thing, sorry. Talking about Obsidian, Grounded. I think we're gonna get like a official Grounded release date or something.
Ooh.
I hope so. It's been installed on my console for like a year now, and I'm still waiting for the official release. So, but Avowed, I think, is the most exciting thing you just said. I would love if Avowed showed up. I would love to see more of this game. I think it's going to be like Obsidian Skyrim. From everything we did see, it kind of gave off that vibe. And I love Obsidian. I think they're a great developer, doing great stuff. I mark my words, in a few years, Obsidian is going to be like recognized as maybe the best Xbox game studio. I think.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm. I think.
Outer Worlds, Avowed, they have a lot of games cooking, and they have like 2 unannounced, one AAA and one AA projects. So, yeah, a lot of games coming up.
That's a good shout. Sean, what do you think we're getting at Gamescom over here?
I mean, I think Xbox does a nice job, at least in this case, of setting our expectations appropriately. So as much as I want to come out here and say, like, we're going to see, like, the next gameplay trailer for, like, Perfect Dark, like, probably not. Probably nothing crazy like that. But I wonder, too, like, just how crazy it is to talk about, like, the various things about Halo. Like, is it too crazy to think, like, we are going to get a little bit of a campaign sneak peek? I think that's actually... If I'm ranking all the different things they need to talk about Halo, I think campaign is the least important thing that they need to be talking about. And I also think that it can really sway things if they get it wrong. So there's a huge risk, and I actually think it's least important. So I go no, please don't do that. But technical test that they did, I think, is still top of mind for people. I think that they're on a roadmap for to talk about multiplayer. I think it might be a little confusing to go, we just did technical tests, that was really good, let's show you campaign. Now maybe at another point we're gonna have to do some sort of open or an additional closed beta or something like that. So I think they stay on the multiplayer train. I think they open it up maybe a little bit where it's not you have to be an insider in order to participate. Maybe they give us a date for maybe the next week they start another kick at Halo, because it's a free-to-play game. Which is very, very strange for me to wrap my head around, just the fact that how many people are going to be playing this damn game. And I think it represents a pretty significant entry point or re-entry point for people to get back into Xbox, right? So I do think that we'll probably it would be great, like my crazy brain is saying, the multiplayer beta is available now, and you can sign up, or you can sign up for a closed thing now. That would be really cool. But I do think that they'll at least give us a date for the next time that we can play Halo Infinite, which is just blowing my mind that that's even a thing. We've been talking about this game forever. I missed my chance with the technical beta because I did not verify my email because I'm a total idiot.
Oh,
but that would be.
I mean, I didn't get in. I did verify mine, and I just didn't get picked.
And that's what I tell myself. Like, there is still no guarantee that even if I did verify my email, that I would have gotten in. That's not necessarily the case, but I definitely didn't do myself any favors on that front. But honestly, like, I look at Gamescom this year like I have most years, which is like pretty much everything is a bonus. If they do give me a little something, then I'm like, well, this is great. But I don't know. It'd be nice if this was just another, like, banger, kind of like E3. E3 was just crazy. Maybe this is an interesting kind of prediction, though, because I don't know that they've already said how many games they're going to show us. But like, if it's a similar, like, fraction or ratio of games that they're going to talk about and the games that are coming to Game Pass, like, I would say it's going to be the same as last time. So if they talk about 10, then maybe it's 7 that are coming to Game Pass, or something like, probably, 7 out of 10 or 80%, 7 to 8 out of 10 games are going to come to Game Pass if they talk about it at Gamescom. Gamescom Game Pass for Xbox Game Pass.
I still have it.
Oh,
right,
you have one more.
Just came to my mind. Yeah.
All right.
Scorn.
I was going to bring up Scorn. Scorn.
Crossfire X.
Yes.
Yeah. See a little bit more of that.
Yeah, you're kind of.
Is Psychonauts releasing before or after?
The day after.
Day after. So yeah, we'll probably get some Psychonauts info, I guess.
When are we playing all these games, you guys?
I don't know, man.
Podcasting.
I don't know. Yeah.
Yes,
we don't have time for this.
These the biggest one. Redfall. I think we're gonna get.
I would love to see. Gameplay. Yeah.
Because it's coming summer 2022, so it's not that far off. So yeah, I'd love to see a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, you jumped in there with some that I was gonna say. I think because they do say third-party partners. I do think we're going to get an update on Scorn, whether that is a delay because it's meant to come out in the fall, and we've heard literally nothing about it. I think it's going to be delayed, so I think we'll get an update on Scorn. The Gunk is another one that was supposed to come out. I think we'll see an update on the Gunk. Crossfire X I can definitely see happening. But my big prediction, and I think it has a reasonable shot, is that this is where they drop the Halo release date.
Oh my god, dude, that. You're probably you could be right. And Ryan Turford at the Xbox Drive said something similar this week as well. And this is just me lowering my expectations for Gamescom.
Yeah.
But it's like, do they need to do it? Has the road cleared with, like, we don't know anything about Call of Duty, which I don't know if they're dancing around or not, but it seems to me like they probably could, or maybe it's in their best interest to do so. So yeah, I mean, I'd love a date. That'd be great.
Robert Serrano leaked the Call of Duty Vanguard, which is a new Call of Duty release date. It's reportedly November 5th. So
Vanguard might be the worst name I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's an awful name. Yeah.
That's the first time I've heard of it. This is my immediate reaction.
Terrible as well. Yeah.
Can't be real.
Yeah, I know we have.
Who's gonna buy it? There's Battlefield.
Vanguard.
Well, I mean,
there's no way.
Millions of people will buy it regardless of what's happening over at Activision Blizzard right now.
Ghost 2. They might as well call it Ghost 2. Give us a sequel to that track.
I feel pretty confident in Halo just because we have rumors that Call of Duty is going to be shown off at the end of next week, I believe. And along with the state of play, those kind of coinciding because a lot of people have said Sony's and Activision are working together on that reveal, which I don't know if now is the best time for them to be promoting, but companies have contracts, they got to do what they got to do and promote Activision Blizzard like we see with Diablo. But I think Halo gets a release date. I feel pretty confident that Gamescom will be the place to do it, and I think it's the right place to do it because we don't really have any other big showcase between then and the Game Awards. And Halo's coming before the Game Awards. I guarantee, like, it's not coming after December, so like it's not coming in December. I don't think that would be wild to me if it launches in December. Mm-hmm. I'm still holding firm that it's November 15th, the 20-year anniversary. Yeah. I think it's coming that Monday. That's my prediction. And if that Call of Duty release date is right, that's like a 10-day window after the fact. So I don't want to say that's too soon, which makes me a little worried because people buy Call of Duty 10 days. Maybe they don't pick up Halo 10 days after the fact. But then again, Game Pass.
Free.
Yeah, Game Pass. Yeah.
Like, it literally is free. It's not even like free quote like with Game Pass. It's
multiplayer. Yeah.
Is free. That is crazy, man. What about so the third-party stuff? I'm going to steal a prediction from my good friend Ryan Turford on the Xbox Drive. He has used this at every predictions thing we ever said, except for when we talked about predictions for Gamescom. So I'm stealing it. What about Final Fantasy VII Remake coming to Game Pass? That exclusivity period is done. I know the integrate thing is kind of happening. I'm not saying that, but like, when does that game come over, and does it come in day and date to Game Pass? And is Gamescom the time that it happens? I think it's yes.
It's funny that you say that because the original Final Fantasy VII just left or is leaving in a few days Game Pass. And when I saw that, I was like, what would be perfect is if the remake finally made its little way over. And people were saying that with Integrate and Intermission that Sony extended the exclusivity deal. I don't know if that's true. I don't know what the length of that would be.
Right.
But I do think that it would be perfect and Square Enix loves Game Pass. They keep launching games into it. We got Octopath Traveler, Outriders, so I don't see a reason why that couldn't happen. It's not one I'm like overly confident, but that would be awesome. I did just play it on my PS5, and it looks beautiful. So like I'm super excited for people on Series X to get it, but.
I wish we had more clarity on that exclusivity deal. Like, you would just imagine that if it was as it was stated kind of at the start, and that it should have been on Xbox like the day after, like that kind of expired, you would have expected that. So yeah, I think there's pretty strong reason to believe that maybe the exclusivity period has been extended beyond the year.
Yeah. It was like April something, I think, was the year was up, and everyone was like, where is it? Then they announced the Intermission DLC and the PS5 upgrade. It was like, well, then everyone well, Sony's got it locked down for a few more months, I believe. I heard people throw
whatever,
around.
I don't even want it anyways. Fantasy sucks.
Oh no, you want it.
I'm just
you
kidding. I'm
want
just
it.
playing it off.
It's-
I'm totally kidding. Yeah.
Do I think it's a perfect game? No. I think it's a really good game, though. I think it's a really good game.
No, I really am jealous. Like that. To be clear, I want to play it. So.
Yeah, that would be great. I would
One
love
game I
that.
forgot to mention. It was announced at last year's showcase. As Dusk Falls.
Oh.
See that. We haven't heard anything about that game, have we?
Is that?
Last year's showcase.
That's like that.
You got it.
It's like a Telltale looking game,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, but we didn't get any gameplay. We just got like visual.
Yeah, like a little cinematic trailer. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
A little cinematic, yeah.
Yeah, I would love if they followed up on like those smaller games that we saw at the E3 conference over a year ago that we haven't really heard much about. Like I was saying with the Gunk and Scorn, I think being the big two. I think it's time that we need some updates on those, and then just don't show me more Forza. That's really what I'm like. We don't need to see more Forza. There's like 10-minute deep dives every week. Halo multiplayer, yeah, sure, you can, like, I'll always take more Halo, but I really want to see those smaller titles and the more obscure titles, not obscure, but like the ones in development that aren't super far along.
I think if you were to go through like the games that they showed, there's a couple showcases last year actually that happened that I think a lot of those games are still coming. So yeah, it'd be interesting to go through and see like when were they announced, when were they, like how many have been delayed, and yeah, maybe there's an update that we can expect from a lot of those games because they had like really good showcases leading up to the Series X. But yeah, not all of those have come out yet.
Yeah, they've had great showcases. Xbox is killing it right now with the marketing and the showcase. I can't complain.
Oh,
you
my
got
prediction.
one. You got one.
Launch date, and you can pre-order your fridge. I want my Xbox mini fridge. Give it to me at Gamescom. Yes, that's it.
Aaron Greenberg just like pans to him standing center stage with the mini fridge.
Give me the fridge. Yep.
That's a good one.
I too, man. I'm telling you guys, I'm not joking about this. I am so excited for that stupid thing. What an absolutely brilliant the whole meme of it, the Twitter battle that they had with Skittles, the fact that this is a result of all that, it's genius. I love it.
You could move that little dresser you got next to your cabinet there and just put two stacked on top of each other. Right,
you better believe it.
Right under your diploma. I think that would look pretty good.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah, my business degree and my Xbox fridge right next to it. Yeah, perfect.
Oh, that's a great prediction to end the.
I have another.
You got another one. Oh.
He's gonna be better than that.
You gotta top it.
It's not really for Gamescom, but it's for Quakecon.
Okay.
I think we're gonna get another look at Starfield.
At Quakecon.
Yeah.
I don't know about that. I think
That's the yearly Bethesda showcase. Right?
Yeah, but Starfield is like the flagship of next year, right? Like that is the Xbox game. So I think Xbox is gonna be like, nah, you're not showing that anywhere except our.
Not a gameplay look, just like another cinematic or like a more Todd Howard interviews about the game, like more concept art and stuff like that. That's what I think.
I honestly don't know enough about QuakeCon to say anymore. It's not
That's
that big of a
Doom
deal to
Eternal
me.
was announced.
Really?
That's where Doom Eternal, yeah.
I did not know that. Interesting.
In 2018, I think.
Okay, well we won't have to wait long for that, and Gamescom is in a few weeks, so we'll see how correct we are when Halo gets announced for November 15th. Everyone, let me know that Kevin, you're a prophet, and we'll leave it at that. But that's where we're gonna end the show. Sean, thank you so much for coming on. It was a great show. I had a blast.
This is amazing, guys. I know it's probably like in the middle of the night for Haman over there, but I had a great time. Thanks for having me on, guys. This is great. Yeah,
before you go, can you please let everyone know where they can find you, keep up with you, social media, plug yourself again.
Sure, man. Yeah, thanks again for having me on. People can follow me on Twitter at Sean Capri. It's Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. And would love it if you joined us over on our YouTube channel where we got the Xbox Drive, the Nintendo Drive, the PlayStation Drive, the RPG Cave. What else do I do? We the Gamercast is all over there. YouTube.com/YouMeCapri.
You got stuff I didn't even know about over there. I'm gonna have to go.
Tons of stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I only knew.
Not all that's me. The RPG Cave is Ryan Turford and Garrett Bland, but it's all part of our kind of family podcast. So.
I love me an RPG though, so I'm gonna have to go check that out now. Add it to my podcast list for the week.
Yeah,
Amon,
man.
where can they find you?
You can find me at Amon_M05 on Twitter.
And I've been Kevin, aka the Muffin Mon. That is a 1 instead of an I and an O instead of an A. We will see you guys all next week, back live, hopefully, unless we have more technical issues. But we will let you know. Follow us on Twitter at Project XTalk for updates and to stay in touch with us. Other than that, we will see you next week. Goodbye, guys.